So today we're doing something completely different, but a necessary evil. If you want to come up and fish Cape York, or you want to come up and fish Weipa, you need to drive the Peninsula Developmental Road, or the PDR that everyone calls it. You might see in the background, that's my work car. I drive the Land Cruiser around the PDR for work quite often, so I'm up and down this PDR all the time. Been driving it for about 25 years. And my Nissan Navara that's at home, which I take out fishing and stuff like that on the weekend, that drives the PDR all the time, so I know it quite well. So I want to cover the PDR from Lakeland when you first enter the PDR from the Cairns end, all the way through to Weipa, and I'll briefly discuss heading north and going up to Bamaga. But if you want to know more about heading north going up to Bamaga, leave a comment, let me know if you want to know it, and I'll map the whole lot. Coming off the Milligan Highway at Lakeland is the start of the PDR. From there is 571 kilometres into Weipa. Traditionally, the PDR has been renowned for its suspension busting corrugations, and for many years the road had very little bitumen, but that's all starting to change, and as from the start of the 2022 season, we have less than 200 kilometres of dirt left. If you're planning a trip up to the Cape, the big question is always, what's the road like? But it changes all the time as road crews are continually attempting to keep it somewhat civilised. These corrugations can be horrible, and while 180 kilometres of corrugations may not sound too bad, unless you have a really good four-wheel drive, it's going to be a long day. From the turnoff at Lakeland, there's sealed road all the way through the Laura, and thanks to a massive stretch that was sealed in 2021, there's now only a really short section of dirt between the Hahn River and Lakeland. So you've got almost 200 kilometres before you have to worry about hitting any corrugations at all. It gets rough not too far out of Hahn River on the approach to Bamboo Range and Musgrave Roadhouse. It's very windy, it's deep corrugations, it's sandy in patches. It alternates between long runs of about 15 kilometres of sealed road and back on the dirt again, back on a bit of sealed road and back on dirt, but eventually you arrive at Musgrave Roadhouse. Between Musgrave and Cohen, it's a lot of dirt, and it's probably the roughest section these days. Because so many of the real bad bits are being sealed now, this is not too bad. But coming into Cohen, there's 32 kilometres of lovely sealed road, and on the other side of Cohen there's another 20 k's of sealed road, so you've got 52 k's of sealed road now as you come in and leave Cohen. And then there's another rough bit that's sometimes sandy and really dusty between Cohen and the boulders just before Archer River. So I'm at a section now called the Boulders, and for many years the Boulders was the worst part of the PDR. It's between Cohen and Archer River, a lot closer to Archer River, just before Archer River, and it's a windy sealed section of road, but it's so much better than what it used to be. It used to have rocks in the middle of the road that if you were towing a boat, your boat would crawl over these big boulders that were in the road. So it's a really scenic spot. Of course, there's a few numbnuts that have signed some of the big rocks on the side of the road, but it's a gorgeous part of the PDR. And the best part about the Boulders is you're almost at Archer River, so you've got to get yourself an Archer River burger while you're there. Leaving the Archer River, there's another long run. Again, 53 kilometres of sealed road all the way to the Lockhart River turnoff. And from the Lockhart turnoff, you hit mainly dirt all the way to the Y. The Y is the turnoff for the tip of Australia. The old telegraph track or the bypass roads going up to the tip. The old telly's a must-do if you're a serious four-wheel driver, but if you're not, just use the bypass roads, and while it's going to be rough, you'll have no problem getting to the tip. From the Y heading into Weipa, it's patches of sealed road, but mainly dirt all the way to York Downs. But thanks to a really long section now being sealed at the Arakoon turnoff, it didn't quite get finished in 2021, and the wet season come and washed parts of it away. But early 2022, we should see this all sealed, which will make between the Y and York Downs about 50% dirt and 50% sealed, but a pretty good stretch of road. As you approach York Downs, there's the Batavia turnoff, and Batavia turnoff is pretty important. If you're coming from Weipa and want to head up to the tip, take the Batavia turnoff and you'll save a fair bit of road as that links up with the old telegraph track. But once you're past York Downs and heading into Weipa, there's a bit of dirt before you hit the old wooden bridge at Mile Creek, and then you've got another 10 kilometres of sealed section and only about 30 kilometres of dirt before you hit the traffic lights at the Hall Road, and then you're in Weipa. This road's a lot easier than what it ever used to be, so take it easy, be safe, and you'll make it through to Weipa no problem.